The Grand Valley Auto Sports Desk, sponsored by Grand Valley Auto.
And we're back for another edition of the Final Whistle meets Grand Valley Auto Sports Desk. Actually on a desk again this time around. Garrett Brown here once again. Well, we are in March, and that can only mean one thing. Well, two things. It can also mean finding new ways to shove green food dye and everything, but more importantly, it means playoff basketball. And over in the Front Range, one of the Western Slope's own, conveniently already wearing some green, had a chance at bringing home a state title. The Delta Panthers girls basketball team reached their first Final Four in team history over in the Front Range, but did not stop there. The Panthers aced their semifinal matchup, taking down the Timnath Cubs, and were just one win away from hoisting a state championship trophy. But to do so, they'd have to take down their toughest opponent yet in the undefeated University Bulldogs. Delta fans packing out their section at the Denver Coliseum, looking for a state title to bring back home with them. I'm sure they'd find some room in their cars. And as for the Delta players, well, they were looking for another offensive outburst like the one they had in the 56-46 victory over Timnath. Less than 24 hours before this game, another offensive outburst from number 13, Breezy Huff, would certainly go a long way. The Panthers seniors scored a career-high 27 in the semifinal victory. But like I said, the Bulldogs, they absolutely deserve to be here. Undefeated this season and the number one seed in the class bracket. Carly Thorpe, listed at 6'1", wasted no time getting the Dogs going with a second chance effort for the score. Delta, though, they were not deterred. They may not have the size advantage, but the three ball in basketball can be the great equalizer sometimes. J.C. Christie buries it for the Panthers from atop the key. Panthers sharpshooting really on display. Jordan Reed gets a good shot here, but not a great one. She makes a smart dish to Paige Kamier, who knocks it down. Delta has themselves a 1-point lead at this point, and Kamier would stay scorching from beyond the arc. Comes right back with another one after the Panthers work the ball around. This one from deep. University has a problem on their hands. Delta just can't seem to miss. Huff bringing the ball down in this next clip, and it's not just Kamier having a big game from beyond the arc. Maya Abeda's turn to knock this one down from three, and she does it as well. And that Panthers bench, after they call a timeout here, is getting fired up behind their teammates. And that vaunted Delta Panthers defense that's held opponents to 25 or lower 11 times this year shows up once again. Martinez forces the turnover here. Kamier swipes it. Fast break for Delta. Delta tries to work it in close in transition, but that size advantage shows up again for the Dogs. Janae Kravig with the rejection. If that last name sounds familiar, that's actually the sibling of the CMU women's all-time assist leader, Kylie Kravig. Dogs, Bulldogs defense now really bearing down. Delta once again tries to work it inside, but Martinez is blocked by Addison Harding, the Bulldog senior, another 6-footer on this roster. Down the stretch, that Dogs team really leaning on that size advantage. Free throws off, but Harding won't be denied with the putback and the score. Delta down the stretch just could not keep pace, and this great season and run in the playoffs comes to an end in the championship as the Bulldogs run the clock down there. They win this one at a final of 42-35. Let's stick with high school sports before we get to break. Well, a Delta Panthers team did pick up a pair of wins with the Delta baseball team making it down to Manitou Springs in a lopsided 18-2 win. Then they circled back around to beat Resurrection Christian. They survived a late surge here to win this one 7-6. Fruita Monument also wins big 11-1 against Vista Peak Prep. And don't look now, the Wildcats are 3-1 to start off their season. Fruita Monument also had a blowout win on the lacrosse field. They took down Thompson Valley 8-1. Montrose Lacrosse, they got a win in a very different fashion, escaping with a 7-6 win. Hawks girls soccer, meanwhile, they won big 7-1 over Coleridge. All right, that was a lot of high school sports. We need to get to break here, but when we return, we're going to head out to CMU to check in on some Mavericks baseball in some less than ideal baseball weather. Don't go anywhere. Colorado Mesa baseball had a successful start to their conference schedule, going 4-0 against the New Mexico Highlands Cowboys. The Mavericks would now welcome in another conference foe into Grand Junction, a rivalry matchup with the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves. We'll join this one with the Mavs leading the pack 7-2 and trying to not only outlast the Wolves, but Mother Nature as well. One of those kind of spot storms hitting the area around CMU. Pretty good. Snow starts coming down, so the Mavs make the smart move to lean on a Western Slope native on the mound, Gage Lockhart from Delta on the bump. And early on, the former Panther was dealing, but then he'd run into some trouble with a couple of runners on, needing to find a way out, and the Wolves just looking to put a ball in play. They get a deep fly out to right field here. The big-time damage is avoided. Colby Felix is able to corral it just before the warning track. Maybe he's on the warning track, actually. But the runners does tag up for the score, and the Wolves continue to chew away at that Maverick lead. Mavs looking for an answer back when it's their turn to swing the bats. It doesn't take them very long. The CMU shortstop, Kennedy Hara, sees a low pitch he likes and gives that a pretty good ride out to left center field. That's into the parking lot as the Mavericks middle infielder that hails from Hawaii gets his first homer of the season, good for the 8th CMU run of the game. When it was all said and done, the Mavs outlast Pueblo in the snow game, winning it 10-5. The Mavs bats did a good job of keeping the pressure on CSU Pueblo all game long, collecting 16 hits as the Mavs move to 5-0 in RMAC play, and they get 2 more conference games tomorrow with a doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. Then the series will conclude with a Monday game at noon. Maverick softball also picked up a pair of conference wins over in Alamosa, where the Mavericks outscored the Adams State Grizzlies by a combined 19-7 runs. The Central High School alumni Maya Arrieta turned in another ridiculous stat line. In the 2 games, she went 8 for 8 with 7 RBIs, hit 3 homers and 2 doubles, as the Grizzlies quite literally could not get the former Warrior out. And the Mavericks have won 10 in a row now. These two will also play a doubleheader tomorrow. Game 1 starts at 11 a.m. When we return, we're going to check in on one of the most decorated Maverick athletes and how she's added to an already loaded trophy case. Well, one of the best to ever do it in Maverick colors once again one-ups herself. As we've been following Colorado Mesa swimming teams run at the national championship meet over in Indianapolis, one thing has become very clear. The Maverick star backstroke swimmer Agata Naskret is among elite talent, and she did so again today. After becoming the lone CMU athlete with the most total national titles, she has added more to her record. After defending her national title and setting the new D2 record in the 100-yard backstroke yesterday, that record she broke, by the way, was her own. The CMU started the exact same thing today in Indianapolis at the 200-yard backstroke. Longer distance, no issue. Naskret defended her national title again and set another D2 record with a time of 1 minute, 53 and 0.25 seconds, winning by over 2.5 seconds at the biggest D2 meet and the most talented one of the year. Naskret now has 4 individual titles and 9 in total as a Maverick. Switching to pro sports in the NBA, after a big-time win against the Lakers last night, quick turnaround for the Nuggets, and here comes the letdown game for Denver as they fall late to the Washington Wizards, 126-123. Despite another wild stat line from Nikola Jokic, where the Joker dropped another 40-point triple-double. Nuggets take on the red-hot Golden State Warriors Monday. More basketball coming up in the final drive. Basketball here, but we ran into some quirky copyright issues, so you're stuck looking at me. But in case you missed it, the state of Colorado will officially have a representative in the upcoming college basketball championship tournament. After several teams bowed out of their respective conference tournaments, like Colorado in the Big 12 and UNC in the Big Sky Conference, and for some of you following the exports from Colorado Mesa that actually went to my alma mater, Cal Poly, go Mustangs, who made a run in the Big West tournament but ultimately lost as well, there will be a team heading to the round of 64. The CSU Rams, who just dominated Boise State in the Mountain West Championship, they get an automatic bid. This is the first time the Rams have been conference champs since 2023. The best basketball tournament in the land is almost here. That'll do it for this week's Final Whistle. Brackets come out tomorrow. In case you want to start filling those out, that's what I'll be doing. Thanks for joining us.